officially hate Violet. I'm using my reading light right now because I was gonna go to pick up my copy of Onyx Storm. I don't know if I'll be able to yet though, because I am literally in the middle of a power outage for like at least 2 hours, I think. Hopefully I don't come across any spoilers until then. Okay, I got it. Let's begin. Alright, time for a theory. It just clicked in my head now. Violet has gray hair. Venom have gray hair that turned white. They want Violet to use her blood DNA because she's part Venom. She was able to not turn fully. I think that's what's gonna happen. I am now about 100 pages in, and my opinions right now are the way I'm feeling about it right now is the same way I was feeling about Iron Flame. Iron Flame actually really disappointed me. I was on the half that really disliked it. But when it started, I actually really enjoyed it. So I'm still not sure about my full opinion on it yet. I feel like I may like this one more. There seems to be more going on, and it's less of Violet being annoying is the nice way to put it. And there's actually more like actual stuff going on. It's not just, you know, her and Zane, her and Zane, her and Zane. But you know what? So far, it's okay. I don't have really anything bad, you know? The review's not bad right now. The review's not like perfect right now. I'm still in the middle. I don't dislike it at the moment as much as I did Iron Flame. I'd give it maybe 3.5, 4 if I'm generous. I'm in the middle of reading right now. Eric, he didn't really do anything in the last book. And right now there's a moment where he might end up fighting someone. And if he fucking dies after he just became like relevant, I'm gonna be so mad. I'm gonna check this book. I'm gonna check the book sleeve that I have holding the book. So if he dies, I'm gonna be so mad. I think I am done with that series. I'm trying to give like the benefit of the doubt because writing is hard. People said that it was supposed to be a trilogy originally, but because it's such a big moneymaker, you know, movies do the same thing, TV shows do the same thing. By doing that though, like things go downhill. So I'm trying to think of the way I described it to my boyfriend was, you know when you're watching anime, a minute where this is mentioned here, but the rest of the episode is just, it's considered filler. That is like this book. This book is so big. It is a weapon for someone who's gonna break into your house. It's so much filler. There's certain parts where I'm fine with, and then other parts I'm like, why? Why is this here? So the thing is called Onyx Storm. In total, I counted the word Onyx 13 times. See, the name Iron Flame kind of, you know, it made sense. Fourth Wing, the title there, it made sense. They were the fourth wing. Onyx Storm did not make sense to me. You know, she has this cool name for it. Fair. And then she uses it to describe the wall that Xaden puts up when he doesn't want Violet going into his mind. It's like, oh, I try to go into his mind and I met with a wall of onyx. Said so many times to describe, you know, when they're trying to go into each other's minds and stuff, which is fine if it was used beforehand. I feel like if she used onyx to describe it from the beginning, it would have made sense. I guess maybe it's because he's Venom, so that's why, but I feel like that was only used so that they could use it in the title. That is the vibe I was getting. I officially hate Violet. I get she's the main character. But there's so many other characters. Being the main character doesn't mean you have to be the person who battles every time and wins and does this every time and this every time. Sometimes having the main character, like we're still in their point of view, but having the main character have to watch his friend here who's so underestimated because volunteer in battle and he might get his ass kicked. But the fact that he's doing it and she has to sit back, and I think that'd be great because then also we get to watch this character growth more. But we didn't get that. I'm sick of that. I am sick of that. I want to see the friends do some stuff as well, which we got a little bit at the end. It was confusing because it's the end of the book, so right away, like I'm like into it, right? Next thing you know, I'm like, why is Violet talking to third person? And then I realized, oh, it's not Violet's point of view, it's Rhiannon's. I liked having the different point of views, but it was confusing, and I wish we got more focus on them earlier instead of just like at the very end of the book. I'm sick of the relationship thing, but I'm gonna say some spoilers, okay? I'm gonna say some spoilers. Like, as we know, at the end of the second one, he became venom, like he was infected. Violet and him are pissed when the friends are like trying to be like, hey Violet, you know, as a safety precaution, maybe don't sleep in his room, sleep in your room, which is fine because she has her own damn room. She doesn't have to share a bed with him. She's not going to be in like in a dungeon arguing, no, we have to sleep in the exact same bed. I get it, you're in love. Like, my boyfriend leaves for work before me, I know he's not there, and I go like like I know, like I don't like it either, but this is life or death. Okay, he may kill you without meaning to, meaning you could be asleep and because you trust him, naturally you're gonna fall asleep, no problem, right? Like, that's normal. But he has no control. Like, he may not have control at all. You may be asleep and then like freaking trying to protect you. They're not doing it because they're like, oh, we don't like him. Like, no, they're doing it to protect you. Still sleep together despite the fact that it could be an issue. And it almost does become an issue when they sleep together. Okay, I'm over the whole teenager dragon thing. I'm done with it. Like, it was cute when she like hit the teenage mark. Like, she was adorable when she was like a little hatchling, okay? And she had a teenage mark and it's like, okay, cool, like I get it, angsty teen. I was freaking emo kid too, like I get it. Now I'm done with it, okay? I'm over it now. What the hell is with the cliffhangers in chapters, but then they're not continued? There's a point where they reach this island, and I think it's an island. That's the thing, the world building is just, the world sounds like it is so cool. It sounds like it. And the reason I'm saying that is because we don't get enough information in regards to it. Anyways, like they reach this area and obviously, you know, they're trying to get allies for the war, right? They go here, and this one, they're like, oh, you know, like we're gonna present you all with gifts. And the whole point is that they have to like accept every gift, okay? It can be insulting if you don't like the gift, right? It can be insulting to the person. That could affect them getting this ally. Fair. It is fair. So they get like, you know, most of them are like good gifts and it's like, yay, cool. It's like, but they keep straight faces, but they're like, thank you. And some of them get bad gifts. For example, one guy gets shot with an arrow and dies. I don't know who that guy was. I could feel the emotion that you're supposed to feel. And I was shocked for a second. I was like, ooh, like I read the name again. And I was like, I don't know who that is. Because the gang that she's traveling with is like a bunch of random people. Like, it's some people we know and then some people we don't know. It would have been different if it was one of Violet's friend. It could have been Dane. Majority of people don't like Dane, which is fair because he was a dick. But you would have still felt some emotion because you know that was Violet's friend. He's been trying to save her. I'm sure he's gonna have some like redeeming arc at some point, and I'm hoping he dies in it and it's gonna be like this emotional thing because I think that would be so good if he actually died saving Xander, actually. Oh, if he saved Xander, ooh, that'd be good. Why am I saying Xander? I've been watching Buffy the Vampire Slayer. Xaden. And Violet has to like stand up and like go up to the person because obviously the, you know, what's his name can't, he's dead. Go up to the person and say thank you in a straight face. It was like a whole trial before they talk about if they're gonna be allies or not. Like, the next chapter could have been short, okay? You know, everyone's struggling so hard to like pretend to be friends with this person who just killed their friend. No, it just cut off there and just skipped ahead, so we had to assume that, oh, they became allies. And another thing, Violet's best friend, remember in Iron Flame, when Violet was not telling her friends anything, and Rhiannon, her best friend since the beginning, who's barely in this book, by the way, you know, she made a big deal, like, don't lie to me, tell me these things, because like, not only am I your best friend, I'm also your damn wing leader. She didn't tell her that Xaden was a venom. She finds out. Chapter ends with her being like, you know, tell me everything. Chapter ends and it's a time jump. We didn't get to see that. We didn't get to see that emotional, possibly fight moment between the two. She's just like, okay, cool. No, that's not good. She told her not to lie to her anymore, and she told her to tell her these things now, and then she's not. And also, I think Darna, the dragon, her young dragon there. So we do end up meeting her kind. They end up showing up. They insult her for being close to the humans, then they leave. And I think Darna should have left with them. I think she should have left with them to try and grow, you know, be with her own kind, but then come back later on as like a hero. That's what I think should have happened. In the dumbest scene in this whole franchise, actually, I think this is the dumbest scene in general. We meet Xaden's mom. Violet and him and a couple friends go to dinner. Then the mom, they put poison in the dessert for the friends and Violet and all them to eat. Only one friend took a bite because Violet noticed and, like, you know, did the whole like, don't eat it, but obviously, you know, one person did it. This friend is dying of poison. Violet goes to the kitchen to try to get the cook to explain what poison did you use. After, like, you know, throwing a knife in his arm and all that, he confesses, and right, and she's like, oh, it's a blah blah blah. Okay, so then they leave the kitchen and go back to the dining room where their friend is still on the ground almost dying, and she's like, oh, blah blah blah, I need you to go to my dorm room at the school, look for this particular book, and bring it back to me. So she has to stand there and wait as this person goes to her dorm instead of her, where she knows exactly where the book is and everything, gets the book and brings it back to her. And then she has to flip through the pages of the book. Again, the guy's dying beside her. Look through her dad's book. Look at the thing where her dad said, oh, for this poison, this is the antidote. Go into the kitchen or whatever the fuck and get the antidote because she doesn't have it in her pocket, right? And then come back and give it to the guy. And they do. And he's alive. And I'm just thinking, that would have taken a while. Shouldn't he be dead? The ending was interesting. I was actually rooting for that ending. Not the ring part of the ending, but the bad part of the ending is what I was rooting for. That's the way I'm going to describe it without actually saying what it is. I was completely shocked because I was confused. It made no sense to me. When did we get signs that this was actually going to happen? I think the next book should be in Xaden's point of view, maybe as a novella in regards to this book, because there were things that happened with him that I think would have been cool to see in his point of view. Yeah, I'm not into this book. The covers are pretty, but yeah, that's my hot take. Bye.